Namaste, Tripti ji. How are you?
Namaste, Melissa. I'm really, really pleased I'm here.
Maybe just take a moment to explain who you are.
I'm Tripti Patel, and I'm a president of Hindu Forum of Britain, which is an umbrella body of over 320 member organizations across the country. We have Hindu Forum Britain Scotland chapter, and we have all the Hindu councils across the country are the member of Hindu Forum. We have National Council of Gujarati Association. We have a National Association, Patidar Association of members, Mandata Samaj, all loads of, and the Ishkon Temple as well. So it's a huge, huge amount. And yes, it's a two-way process we have, from the grassroots to regional to the national, and then we have strategic involvement with the government, and then we cascade down that strategic involvement to the grassroots level. So it's a beautiful process.
Yes.
And it involves all across the generations and all across the spectrum of social spectrum, and the businesses and everyone.
Fantastic, and I can see there's quite a spectrum of the Indian diaspora here today. So perhaps you'd explain, why are they gathered here today?
See, today it was decided when the CAA, when in the Indian Parliament it was announced that the Citizen Amendment Bill, CAB at that time, was debated, and then it was passed by both houses, so it's totally legit. And why was it needed? Because the history goes back in 1947, and even before, when Afghanistan was taken over by the marauding Turks. Yeah, at that point there were loads of temples in Afghanistan, and like Bayman Buddhas, there were lots of Buddhist viharas, Jain temples. But gradually people were pushed back, and when anybody takes over and when majority becomes sort of like under the clutches of the minority, there are lots of issues. And when 47 happened, it was decided that two issues happened. In the Pakistan, people who could not afford to move, or people who were frightened that if we moved and we might get killed, because they heard also some stories, yeah? There was also another side of it that not many people know, and that is that by some United Nations rule, the China government actually kept the essential workers, which were the lower rung of the society. They were the road sweepers and they were the cleaners, and they actually by force they were kept there. But gradually they were converted, and the stories I have heard, I meet lots of people like in Middle East when I'm traveling through in USA, and when you hear their stories, it's so sad, it makes you cry. There was one of my mentor, my graduate engineer, that came from Sindh, and his parents sent him to study in UK. The next year, the parents can't come, he can't go back. They were all converted into Islam, and he couldn't do anything about it. So you imagine the separation. If there were girls, they were taken over. So coming back to the CAA, what was decided that let us give all these poor citizens, poor people who have come over, migrated over from minorities, let's give them proper rights. Because people who objected to abrogation of 370, they didn't realize in Kashmir, in Jammu and Kashmir, there were so many Sikhs and Hindus who had come 70 years ago, and they still didn't get the citizenship. I mean, what kind of equality is that? We Hindus preach Sarva Dharma Samaj, but we don't have that Sarva Dharma Samaj, do we? Why? So, doing CAA, the government gave them rights, so now they will be treated as equal citizens of India. Now, it's also wrong to say that, why are you not doing to the Muslim people? Well, it's wrong. In last 5 years, 566 Muslims were given Indian citizenship as well. So if you qualify, you get it. But no, what people want to do is, they want to infiltrate from both sides, and then they want to create all the dangas, and they want to burn things. Even in any civilized country, should you be doing that? And if you do that, you should be punished. You can't burn anybody's school bus, or you can't burn anybody's building. You can't get school children out of the bus and burn it because you like it or because you are saying that is against us. And the biggest problem is that Nehruji, the first PM, he actually wrote that we must do that. Yeah? Gandhiji said that. Sardar Patel actually said very clearly in the Calcutta lecture that whoever stays in India, they have to be loyal to India. Otherwise you can go, because the nation is created on the faith divine. But we are so good. I feel my parents' generation, my grandparents' generation, my generation, and the younger generation need to understand really that you have to stand up for your right. We don't want to sort of destroy anyone. We want to live very peacefully because we all believe in Sarva Dharma Saman. But when it comes to your valor, yourself, your faith, you have to stand up for it. Namaste.
Namaste.
Very good.
Thank you, Melissa.